He's out of work. By how many rounds?
So what?
What went wrong? What went wrong?
Leading up to the fight, respected boxing analyst Teddy Atlas broke down the matchup, giving his thoughts on what Lamont Roach needed to do to compete with Gervonta Tank Davis. According to Atlas, Roach did his best, but Davis was simply on another level in terms of skill, power, and fight IQ. Davis's ability to read openings, time his shots perfectly, and control the pace of the fight made all the difference. While Roach had his moments, he lacked the extra gear either in skill or sheer punching power to truly pose a serious threat to Tank. Atlas noted that Roach is a fundamentally sound boxer with a strong ring IQ, meaning he understands positioning, strategy, and technique well.
I mean, we're gonna see. I'm the best fighter in boxing. I've been saying this. So.
Shakur, what went wrong for Gervonta in this fight? Just because, could we say maybe because Lamont didn't come in?
I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't.
However, he suggested that against a dangerous, heavy-handed fighter like Davis, Roach needed to focus on movement, using angles, and executing disciplined counterpunching rather than standing toe-to-toe and engaging in risky exchanges. Standing in the pocket with Tank, he warned, was a recipe for disaster. For Roach, this fight was one of the biggest tests of his career.
I told everybody how the fight was going to go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My confidence been up. I've been doing his best.
Despite being the underdog, he remained unwavering in his self-belief, shaped by years of experience, relentless determination, and an unshakable refusal to accept defeat. This fight also carried added intensity due to their history. Davis and Roach had previously faced off as amateurs, with both fighters having different takes on how those early matchups went.
It was a good fight.
Lamont Roach? I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What was up with Tank Davis?
What was wrong with him?
But amateur fights and professional fights are two completely different worlds. Now, the time for debate was over. No more speculation, no more excuses. Everything would be settled in the ring. Sean Porter weighed in before the fight, issuing a cautionary statement. Roach's history with Tank could actually work against Davis. According to Porter, Roach had sparred with Tank and had first-hand experience with his style, which meant he wouldn't be walking in blind. That kind of familiarity, Porter warned, could be dangerous for Davis.
Every man in boxing is not your best, but you got the
Would you like to see a rematch of this or jump into a fight with Shakur Stevenson?
Whatever they want to do. I don't know. It was a good fight.
However, he also made it clear, the moment Tank landed clean, everything could change in an instant. Davis's longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, reflected on the long-standing rivalry between the two fighters, dating back to their Silver Gloves amateur days. Despite some criticism over whether this was the right fight for Davis, Ford fully backed the matchup, calling it a huge opportunity for both fighters and an event that true boxing fans would appreciate.
Lamont Roach is just the guy, man. He showed up, and Tank gave him a tremendous amount of respect in the fight. We saw why. He's a great counterpuncher, very high boxing IQ. He always says, I hit harder than people think.
He commended Roach for stepping up, calling him a worthy opponent who had earned his shot. Kenny Ellis echoed that sentiment, emphasizing the years of tension and competition between the two fighters. They had fought before in amateur settings, but this was different. No headgear, no point system, just pure professional boxing. Big Tim, a respected figure in the boxing world, firmly believed in Roach's ability to shock the world. While many doubted his chances, Tim saw Roach as a fighter ready for his moment.
And he stunned Tank several times. Tank looked like the guy with the hip routines, but Lamont had the better chin. So it's all relative. So if Tank hits real hard, but the guy can take it, it doesn't really matter.
Someone who wasn't just proving himself as a competitor, but as a true champion, a fighter whose talent and determination would shatter expectations. He believed that if Roach executed the right game plan, stayed disciplined, and capitalized on openings, he had a real shot at victory. When the bell rang, it was clear that Gervonta Tank Davis came to make a statement. From the opening round, he imposed his will, showing why his power remains unmatched. Despite all the talk about Roach's technical skill and ability to frustrate Davis early on, Tank set the tone immediately, landing punishing shots that broke Roach down over time.
Brilliant tonight, but those early rounds were haunting. He's gonna lay up at night if that wasn't a little more aggressive early on. Because early on there wasn't much going on. There was time for him to take places for him to steal those rounds. Obviously, he did.
Roach had some success in the opening rounds, using his reach and high boxing IQ to create small openings, but as the fight progressed, Tank's superior power and timing took over. Coach Bullet analyzed the fight from a different angle, emphasizing that this wasn't just about skill, it was about real pressure. In his opinion, Roach didn't bring the kind of power that would force Davis to fight at another level. However, that in itself was a risk. When elite fighters don't feel tested, complacency can creep in. Bullet acknowledged that possibility but made one thing clear: Tank was always in control.
I want to see what the official scorecard breakdown was and how they had everybody in which direction and which rounds. But I mean, super close fight. I could have edged it for Tank. Lamont obviously had a great round, so he wobbled Tank a few times.
After the fight, promoter Eddie Hearn weighed in, stating that while the matchup was solid, Roach was simply too small for Tank. He pointed out that the fight didn't generate the hype some expected, largely because Roach lacked mainstream recognition. Hearn was direct in his assessment. If you know boxing, you know it was a good fight, but Roach is a super featherweight. He's much smaller than Tank. It's not a bad fight, but it didn't land well because no one really knows who Lamont Roach is. But what were the other options for Tank, really? The conversation around the fight didn't end there.
I don't know, man.
Great
Roach won the
performance.
story.
Roach won the story.
Roach won the story. He didn't get the win, but he won the story.
In the early rounds, it was just though Tank was.
Gary Russell Jr., another veteran of the sport, initially played it safe, saying that anyone who steps in the ring has a chance. But when pressed for a real prediction, he was blunt: if both fighters were at 100%, Roach simply wouldn't win. Russell predicted that the fight might be competitive early on, but as the rounds progressed, Tank's power would become overwhelming. "No, I don't think Lamont is going to win," he admitted. "It'll be interesting at the start, but in the later rounds, Tank is going to take over."
What he does and setting up a possible knockout or a probable knockout, which is what most people expected to see. And then over the course of the next several rounds, you saw that maybe the
Despite the dominance, Tank Davis showed class in his post-fight comments, giving credit to Roach's skill, work ethic, and heart inside the ring. Roach did manage to frustrate Davis early on, using his reach, solid fundamentals, and disciplined boxing IQ to create some early problems. But once Tank found his rhythm, there was no stopping him. Now that the fight is over, one thing is certain: this was more than just another bout. It was a battle for dominance. Did Tank prove once again why he's one of the most feared punchers in boxing?
Lamont Roach actually got stronger, moving up 5 pounds to 135 pounds. He was able to take Tank shots without ever really being in any serious trouble. That, I think, was unusual and disconcerting.
Or did Roach earn respect by pushing him in ways few have before? Regardless of the outcome, this fight will be talked about for a long time. As the dust settles, one thing is clear: this was more than just another fight. It was a battle for dominance, a statement of who truly belonged at the top. Did Tank prove once again why he's one of the most feared punchers in the sport? Or did Roach, despite the loss, gain the respect of the boxing world for his toughness and determination? No matter which side you're on, this fight will be talked about for a long time.
Got a little desperate in the late rounds and began throwing much more than is normally the case. It created action, it created excitement, there was tension in the audience. It was a memorable fight, and I want to see a rematch as rapid.
But we want to hear from you: did Roach exceed expectations, or was this always going to be a one-sided affair? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive boxing coverage. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. What do you think? Did Roach exceed expectations, or was this always going to be a one-sided affair? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive boxing content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.